and I know there are a lot of men. I had a couple of men under the comment section. Basically, they're waiting for me. Me, myself, too, are waiting for them. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. So I made a statement in the community tab about women in Liberia, and I said that women in Liberia should not and cannot afford to be submissive. There were a couple of gentlemen in the comment section who are waiting for this video. They're waiting for me, and me myself waiting for them too. Seriously, I welcome any discussion, a healthy debate, healthy disagreement. It's good for people to banter, especially Liberians. We need to learn how to disagree without cussing each other, ma, cussing your pa. So I welcome respectful debate and respectful disagreement. Okay, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, so this will probably be called the dessert, I want to say that I said women in Liberia, because that is going to be the basis of this video. I didn't say all Liberian women, Liberian women in other countries. I said women in Liberia. So I wanted to make that clarity. And I also wanted to make sure that it is understood that I really do not consider myself a feminist. I don't believe that all things are equal, especially as it pertains to me. Let me just let you know that this is based on my experience. This is based on my opinion. Nothing that I'm going to say is a fact. I'm a Christian. I believe that the man is the head of the household biblically. It's in the Bible. The Bible calls for us to submit to our husbands. The Bible calls for the husband to love the wives as Christ loved the church, and to love his wife as he loves his own body. So if you have a man that's doing that, it's easy to be submitted. I don't believe that I am as equally as physically strong as a man. Most men are like the average man. I'm an average woman. I don't believe I'm as physically strong. So in some ways I am the weaker sex. Within my home, all things are not equal. There are some gender roles my husband does and that I do that works for us. So I cannot tell anyone how to be in their relationship, but we do have gender roles, male roles and female roles that we do fulfill for each other, and that works for us. I do feel though that even though in the home things are not equal, I do feel like in the workplace though, women should be paid based on their ability, based on their education. It shouldn't be where women are slighted as far as pay scale. So I'm not a feminist as far as my relationship, but I do believe that equally in the workforce, if we're doing the same work, we should get the same pay. So I just wanted to give that. So I'm not a feminist, and I don't want any woman watching this video and say, Joy from She Speaks Too say I'm gonna not be submissive, so you just come home when you rich. Hell that day. No, that's not what I'm saying. So bear with me. Let's get to what made me make that statement. And I did say earlier that being the average woman and an average man, that I'm not physically as strong, but I just wanted to add it got some listed men that I can beat. I believe so. So just wanted to add that. Okay, so my statement was something like this. I said women in Liberia should not be and cannot afford to be submissive. And this is why I made that statement. Me being here and what I have seen is the lack of honoring, the lack of respect of this so-called weaker sex. Let me just throw something out here, a figure. 80 to 90% of the people that drive in Liberia are men. All of the taxi drivers are men. I have not seen one taxi driver that was a woman. I have not seen one pimpin driver that was a woman. I have not seen one keke driver that was a woman. My husband did say he saw a female driving a pimpin at one point. I have not seen it. So that is majority of what is on the road right now. The pimpin, the keke, the taxi driver, they're all males. Then we have a small percentage of women who do drive that I see drive themselves. But for the most part, it's a male-dominated road. So what I have observed is you will see a woman with a child on her back, with market on her head, trying to cross the road just to give this woman a chance to cross. The taxi driver will not stop. The pimping driver will go all around, will cut her, will not stop. the woman has to basically put her life and not just them, anybody, nobody is stopping this in this male dominated road this woman is trying to just cross. Basically, she has to put her foot on the road halfway just so people can take her serious that she's gonna cross. Otherwise, nobody is gonna give her way. Nobody honors her. It could be an older woman trying to cross the road. Nobody honors her. Nobody says this is a female trying to cross. She has a child on her back, or this is a woman with heavy market. Let me stop. Let me honor her. Let me give her way to pass. I have seen it. And sometimes I do see people stopping. I'm not going to say everyone does that, but for the majority, I don't see people stopping. I don't see people honoring this so-called weaker sex. Let me tell you the next thing that I've observed. I have been walking into stores, into buildings. A man is behind me. Not only will he get in front of me and cut me and go in the door, but not even have the decency to say, not only did I cut this woman, let me hold this door open for this woman. So that is something that I have observed also. So at a certain point, you start to get aggressive. You start to be like, no, you're not going to cut me. You start to get aggressive. You start to be more assertive about your position because they're not giving you the ability to be that weaker sex, to honor your femininity. You know, so if you can't honor that, then in turn, women are going to have this masculine dominating energy. I say that they cannot afford to be submissive. So if that woman wants to cross the road and she just stands on the side of the road for all cars to halt for her to cross, she will never get to that other side. She has to actually inch her way, even in incoming traffic, in order to cross the road. If I wait for everybody who cuts in front of me to open the door for themselves and not inch my way, I'll never get in the store or whatever building I'm trying to get in. So in this society as a whole, you cannot be submissive. You cannot even afford to be submissive. I believe that if like women in Liberia were more submissive, we would perish as a whole. And so for me, how does that translate to the home life? So you can't tell me that a man who doesn't honor a woman in public, if you see an older woman crossing, it should put you in mind of your grandmother, your mother, your aunties, and you should have reverence for her and say, Oma, let me let you cross. Oma, let me help. In fact, say, Oma, let me help you cross with a load yet. I don't have nothing in my hand. Let me help you. Instead, you got your headphones on, you on your phone, the Oma clearing the way to cross, and you jumping in front of her to cross before her, and she's the one who almost risking her life. So you can't tell me that this person who has done this in public now goes home and honors the women in his life. I'm not buying it. I think that same behavior continues in the home. So what I'm seeing is a new breed of Liberian men, a new breed of men who do not honor women, who do not treat them with the gentleness that the weaker sex, quote unquote, submissive sex deserves. So then how in turn can a woman be submitted to that? And like I said, if they were, they would perish. The market woman would never make her money. The Oma would never cross the street. I would never get in the grocery store if I just kept allowing people to cut in front of me. So what you're doing is not honoring femininity, but then in turn expecting submission. And the two cannot go, it can't coexist like that. So you can't in turn wonder like, what happened to the Liberian women? They're so rough. The Liberian women, they're different. If that's survival, they have to be different because of how if you treated me like your friend man, then how am I supposed to be feminine? You're not honoring me. If something happens, something bad, you would save yourself before you even reach out to save me. Then in turn I have to be more aggressive. I have to have this kind of masculine energy because it's like every man for themselves. Literally, you're treating me like your friend man. You're not honoring anything about me, honoring anything that's feminine about me. So I want to hear from people who have been in Liberia, both men and women. I want to hear what you think about that. Is that something that you observed? Is that something that you agree with or disagree with? I want to hear. And this, for the most part, if you haven't been here, like I always say, since Gigi Rawatan, then you may not understand what I'm talking about. But it is like blatant where you can see it. It's like a slap in the face. I see it all the time. Women are not honored. And so in turn, you have to be more aggressive to get your needs met in society. Now, I'm not talking about individual relationships. I'm just talking about society as a whole. I do feel like the men who are older, maybe who do know better, should be teaching these young boys, these young men about honor, about respect, about honoring the woman, honoring her femininity, honoring all aspects of the woman. So I do think that's something that maybe it's a lost art, because I don't remember it being this way. So maybe it's a lost art. That's something that just how girls need to be taught certain things. The boys also, and young men need to be taught certain things. Okay, so that is my reasoning to why I said that women in Liberia should not and cannot afford to be submissive. If they do, in my opinion, they would just perish. They would perish. They would get wiped out. So anyway, I welcome all your comments, healthy debate, healthy discussion. And this is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you later.